brand.com, where the pros are the pros.
That is so loud in my headset.
Castrating the marks. Okay, well, you know what the name of this show is, bro.
Yes.
So I got to ask you to castrate a mark with us.
Yeah, let's do it.
You're ready to go, regardless of who the subject might be.
God forbid we hear what they say about us, man. It's only fair game. Let's do it. Come on.
Go ahead, Jeff. Bring it up. Bring it up for my boy JD. Go ahead.
Oh, God, here we go.
This is sent in by Scott Smith and Tyler Dunn, and we have another Sean Sapp in the wrestling ring clip. This time, he's doing something with the former Mojo Rawley. And by the way, we got two angles of this, so we'll do one at a time here, okay?
Listen, I know your best days are behind you, but mine aren't. So I say we settle this like that.
Wait, what? Wait. That looks so weird. Guys, I looked down for a second because I was looking at chat and it felt like it cut off whatever he was saying. And by the way, I will not reference him by name, but I'm reacting to this because I think it's funny. Sometimes the stuff that Russo, does that he reacts to it's funny. And any trained professional would not do that. What happened?
You're okay.
Listen, I know your best days are behind you, but mine aren't. So I...
Hold on, why? My cat gives me headbutts like that. Oh, his cats, I think he has cats. His cats probably trained him. That was my...
I say we settle this like that.
Okay, first of all, if you are a trained professional, no trained professional would do that. You should finish your sentence before you do anything and then do the headbutt. Not in mid-sentence, be talk, headbutt, and then the mic still captures your voice. That's not how that works.
Wait, stop it right there. Wait. Me and JD got to take. We got to take this in first.
That's not how that works. Let's see what they say.
Oh my God!
Wait a minute. Go back and stop us after the headbutt so we can react to this, please. All right, JD, make sure you're paying attention to this. JD, this is the man you're going to be fighting at. Where is it? Forest Hills? You fight him at some tennis arena or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I get it. I get why they have JD on. Which, by the way, can we just quickly talk about that for a second? The last stream that I did, someone in chat asked me about what's my opinion on JD from New York, and I'm like, I don't really have too much of an informed opinion, and I'm not gonna take whatever on what the internet says, but I will give him props for being yo, I'm going to be here. Here's the address. You can show up. And that to me is always I would give people props to be to stand their ground and be I'm going to be here. You better show up. And then, the other person being oh no, I'm going to be in between these two streets where the airport is at. You better show up. And what that does is it creates an atmosphere and a narrative of oh, he never showed up. I told him where to be. And it's no, you didn't tell him where to be. You told him to go on a wild goose chase in order for you to get the narrative that this person didn't want to fight you when you're oh, come on, let's fight. You know who does that? High school children. High school children do that. Thankfully, JD is yo, here's the address, pull up if you want to. Because that is what New Yorkers do. New Yorkers are not afraid to be yo, pull up. And if you're not going to pull up, then we all know.
I used to live in Forest Hills. So
This is the guy you're going to be fighting, JD.
Supposedly. The guy who don't want to get pizza with me, yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff. Play that again.
I know your best days are behind you, but mine aren't. So I say we settle this like that.
Okay, stop. Now, JD, I'm going to ask you a legitimate question, okay? And then I'm going to give you the floor. He knows this shit is out there. He knows we're going to be watching it. He doesn't expect us to freaking make a damn fool out of him for this. What does he expect us to do, bro? He knows this is out there. He's in the ring acting like a mark and a jackass. What does he expect you and I to do, bro? Watch this and put it over?
I don't know what this is or where this is from, but I mean, you wouldn't listen.
First of all, I don't know why my headset is like fucking up. Is it because, hold on. Let me just turn off the, I'm gonna turn off the Bluetooth for a second. No.
I work for House of Glory Wrestling. I love everybody over there. Amazing Red runs the company. I do
I love
commentary over there.
Amazing Red. Love Amazing Red,
I
bro.
do commentary for him. Red is one of the nicest people that I've ever met. He's given me a great opportunity. Vince, this clip here, he wants to be a part of everything so badly.
Yes.
Because he feels like he deserves to be there.
Yes.
I'm telling you, both of you guys, when I go to a House of Glory show, I've been doing shows for them for 6 years, commentary. I don't even step foot in the fucking locker room because I know I don't belong there. I get to the arena, I have my Starbucks, I sit at my desk, I take my notes, I do the show, I go home. I don't mingle with anybody. If someone comes up and says, what's up? Hey guys, what's up? How you doing? I'll critique their matches. I'll give them a little input from what I saw, and that's it. I haven't been in the House of Glory locker room one time in 6 years, and this fucking clown is in the ring trying to headbutt somebody here, and he feels like he belongs to be there. That's to me, that's, I don't know.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know how JD does his notes, but like when I do commentary, if I need to speak to some of the talent, I will go into the back of the locker room. But I can also agree with JD is that like I still don't even go into the back of the locker room for stuff, even though if I'm doing commentary or something, because I respect the locker room and I really don't go back there because I'm not like a trained professional. But again, if I need something for my notes, I will go and try to find the wrestler. And if the wrestler happens to be in the locker room, then I will go in the locker room respectfully and be like, hey, I have some questions. Let me just write down some notes. Which, like, something for like this. Let me see if you guys can see it. Like, for something like this is like my note sheet for when we did Battle of Athena for the Goddesses Award. Like, this is all of my notes. And for the most part, I kind of like all the wrestlers were out of the locker rooms. I was able to like get these notes, but like I just don't go to the back. And I didn't realize that like a lot of people just don't do that. But I mean, I just don't go to the back out of like respect. So I got that.
Oh, there's something wrong with that.
Yeah. Play the rest of it, Jeff, and then we got to see the other angle.
Yeah, we got another angle because you're going to see the beauty of that the headbutt, and the way he lands is great.
Shoot, bro.
Oh my God. First of all, that's not how you run the ropes.
Let's kick this thing off. Let's go. You stay right there.
All right, so Jeff, there's another angle.
There's another angle. I
That's
think
not how
this
you
one
run
is
the ropes.
Before we see the other, again, JD, does he expect us not to make a fool out of him watching this?
I mean, did you see the way he just kind of flailed around and flew across the ring?
Well, bro, we're gonna get a better angle though, JD. Hold on, we're gonna get a better angle, man. Go ahead, Jeff.
Didn't he say something along the lines? I'm sorry. Didn't he say something along that you were out of shape or something? Why is he like he looks kind of pudgy there? What's going on there?
I have no idea, bro. I got
College wrestling guy is right. Monty Brown is frowning somewhere because Monty Brown had like one of the best pounces there is.
Yeah. I bro, listen, I'm sure your grandma, back in your grandma's day, JD, there was a thing called a girdle. I've suggested Sean Ross Sapp wear a girdle, and I think I'm helping him out, bro.
Vince,
next time I see Grandma, I'll bring it up there. See what she says.
See if maybe she's got a spare girdle. All right, go ahead, Jeff. Let's see
that's
this
hilarious.
angle.
I know your best days are behind you, but mine aren't. So I say we settle this like that.
So he headbutted him
In the shoulder.
and even below the shoulder, like between
the armpit.
chest and the shoulder.
But the thing is, guys, there's no reaction. Like who's
Yeah.
reacting to this? Like who's
There's no reaction.
We are.
It almost
We're
sounds like
reacting.
Oh.
We're reacting.
yeah,
to
we're
it.
reacting, but it almost sounds like there's no audience there.
There
They're
isn't.
behind you, but mine aren't. So I say we settle this like that.
People are laughing. People are laughing.
Okay, so we got
Listen, if you are not a trained professional, stop getting into the ring because anything can happen. This is why myself and other actual wrestlers, by the way, I'm obviously not a wrestler, but like I know that wrestling wasn't for me, bumping wasn't for me, we're running the ropes, it's kind of fun. But like if you are not a trained professional, do not get into the ring. Do not try to do something with a wrestler because anything can go wrong. This right here, like his whole entire skeletal structure is at an angle and like, you know, that could cause back problems because if you're not working out, if you're not stretching, if you're not doing what wrestlers do, what an athlete does to get healthy and to like, you know, show that they're a wrestler and get into shape, you're going to wake up like pretty hurt. And then to like really fly across the ring and not know the distance and everything. And this is why we say wrestling, you have to be professional. You are a professional wrestler. You get trained to be a professional wrestler. It's not like anybody should be let into the ring. Like, why is there no sense of honor, respect, integrity for the ring? Like, why can anybody and everybody just get into the ring and be like, I'm going to work a program or work an angle for, against this guy and then mask it over like a charity event? Why? Don't do that. Do not put people who are not professionally trained in the ring. Don't do it. Have respect for the business that gave you the opportunity to showcase your art, to showcase, you know, what you can do for the fans, for the venue, for, you know, you bring value into the community. Like, you know, get some respect for the wrestling community and for the wrestling industry. If you're not a professional, don't step into that ring.
Look, bro, look at the gut. Well, bro, I'm serious about the girdle now. I didn't know it was that big. My God, bro.
Man, 2 years ago, I looked like that, and I got myself in the gym, man, after Jake Cargill said something about me not being able to do a pull-up. So I went to the gym for the last 2 years. Now, if I look like that now, man, I'd be fucking embarrassed. I'm sorry.
All right, go ahead, Jeff. What were you going to say?
Why do they book him? Vince has his theory of why these wrestling companies allow this to take place in their rings. They bring him in. GCW had him in a main event. Why do you think
he's buddy with all those guys over at GCW. GCW's worked with Hog. There's some people over there that don't like me. Janela does not like me, but he's all buddy with them. He's all in their pockets.
Hey, J-Rod, what's up? Sorry I didn't get your messages earlier. Yeah, see, I wanted to watch it with everybody. I didn't want to watch it by myself.
That is what it is. It's a political game that he plays.
Yeah. Look at that gut.
That's great.
I don't know why they, but who is he? Like, he comes out to these shows. Who is he? Apparently he's one of the most hated guys in the community, and then they're using him on the shows for what? Nobody wants to see him.
Because
Gio is definitely right. They book him because he mentions them. Of course, you give them publicity, you get booked. But then again, you're not a professional. You can easily get hurt. And like, if you're not trained to be a wrestler or to like learn how to bump, and you just want to be like, I could do this too. No, you can't. Because then it looks very cartoonish and it looks like everything that you go against and you're like, WWE does all this kiddie stuff and fake stuff. WWE is bad. And then when you're doing, you're like, I did a great thing. No. Like, if you're not a professional wrestler, don't be in that ring. Don't get booked either. Because then you're taking a spot away from actual wrestlers that want that spot, that want to entertain the crowd and actually entertain them. Stop taking spots away from wrestlers.
Here's why, JD, and at least, bro, you know what I said to LaGreca, JD, because I had a conversation with LaGreca about the Denise thing, and I said to him, I said, you know, my problem is, let me tell you what my problem is, Dave. I said, my problem is Hollywood, Denise Hollywood Sausalito is co-hosting a show with Tommy Dreamer. Bro, she's a glorified wrestling fan. And this is what I said to him, JD. I said, Dave, I am a San Francisco Giants fan. I promise you I'm not co-hosting a show with Buster Posey. I promise you, bro, because I'm a fan. But, bro, here's the thing. At least LaGreca admitted to me, bro, he's looking for that young demo. He's looking for that audience that Denise gets. At least LaGreca admitted that to me. The problem with the Saps is, bro, they're booking him because they want him to put the promotion over on Fightful, and the guy is gonna put the promotion over as long as they book him. And, bro, that's fine and well. Don't call yourself a freaking journalist then, because you're not. You're a 100% sellout, bro. You're not a freaking journalist.
Journalist, you're really stretching the term thin when it comes to him. He does a good job when he's reporting the news and breaks news. That's fine. But calling what they do over there at Fightful journalism, I mean, how could they be journalists when, like I said before, they told the line? And, you know, you have Righteous Reg over there working for Fightful, who's got a podcast on Fightful's platform. He's making music for AEW. Why would I go to him for AEW opinion and fair criticism when he's writing music for their roster? Like, that's not what I want to listen to. So obviously he's going to say, he's going to praise this, he's going to praise that. And that goes up and down the line over at Fightful. And it's at the top with Sapp and Denise. They never say anything as far as valid, fair criticism. Why he's booked on these shows, you're correct. Why Denise is on Busted Open, Dave wants a younger demo. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody else out there that could be better suited for that. I'm sure there is. I could definitely help them get a smarter audience, and not just focus on a younger demographic and try to make things girly. You know, wrestling is a sport. I believe it's a sport. It's also entertainment. But it's not like, I mean, there's pop culture in it and stuff like that. But, you know, we talk about angles, we talk about story, we talk about character development, and that's everything that, like, I love doing and analyzing stuff. But yeah, I could maybe one day, who knows. Can't stand to listen to her for more than 30 seconds. I haven't listened to one Busted Open show with her on, and Busted Open is very good. Bully Ray, whatever he does, he's very
those guys.
I love his opinion. Tommy Dreamer, love his opinion.
Yeah,
but like that's what you're going towards. And then we can't say anything as far as the content that she put out, then we're bad people. I mean, God forbid what these people say about me and everybody else. Not fair.
That's my take is you I guarantee you probably get it way worse than Sapp, because when you put yourself out there, the more popular you get, the more people are not going to like you. That's just the law of nature, the law of averages. He can't take any criticism. He's vanity searching his name. Yep. He's DMing anybody that says anything, not even if it's not even mean, if it's just constructive criticism.
By the way, we all have evidence of that. So if anybody out there is going to say, no, that doesn't happen, we have evidence. We know it happens.
He's in their DMs. He's like, you got to be able to handle criticism when you do something like he does. How do you do it? Because I'm sure you get it worse than he does.
I've this year especially, I've developed an even harder shell on social media. If I see someone coming at me and attacking me personally, then I will say it's like like this past week I got a death threat. James Earl Jones passed away. Someone's like, they should have took JD from NY instead of James Earl Jones. I wish I could have him back. I'm like, really, guy over pro wrestling. So if it reaches that point, I'll say something publicly on social media. But I'm a quick block or a mute. I don't deal with these people. It's not worth my time anymore. Sapp engages with everybody. He has to prove everybody wrong, and he's in threads up and down, left and right, from morning to night. And it's like, bro, you're you call yourself a journalist. So why don't you have any integrity as far as what you bring to the table as a journalist? Like, I don't see professional journalism majors or journalists doing that on social media. You're gonna argue with everybody. Yeah, AEW Elite Mark 004. I'm sure that's what you want to spend your fucking day on arguing with. Come on, bro.
Hold on.
Okay. Well, that was that. I just wanted to watch that with everybody here, and I will say it again. Yeah, I had issues with him. I just don't bring it up because he's stuck in the past. He's stuck in the past. I have moved on from that day, and that's about it. But I just wanted to react to it because I didn't know that we needed a collaboration of JD from New York and Vince Russo, which was, pretty awesome to see. And like, they're 100% right. And I will say it again, if you are not professionally trained to be in that ring, do not go into that ring. That there's a reason why, like, a lot of people, that are fans shouldn't cross over that barricade, shouldn't cross over that line until they have the classes, the bumps, running the ropes, understanding what it takes to be a professional wrestler. Like, if they're not getting that, don't book them, even if they're going to put you over. Like, there are other ways for you to get over in professional wrestling. There are other ways other than the shortcuts to get over in professional wrestling. And even when you do get over, and I'm speaking to the promotions, nothing really changes. No momentum like really picks up, because we're still talking about the same promotions over and over and over again. There are just other ways, clever ways, creative ways to get over that. You don't need the third-party websites that will be biased, that will put you over. But if you're not delivering on what the sites say so positively about you, if you're not putting that out there, then people are not gonna believe in it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, if the article is about praising a certain wrestling promotion, but that promotion is not doing the things that are said within the article that they are supposedly doing, then people are going to lose trust. This is why you don't really go towards third-party sites that could be very biased, because if someone is saying something but you're doing the opposite, then that's how like trust leaves, if that makes sense. But yeah, if you're not a professional, don't get into that ring. We'll listen to one more and then we will
Russo's brand.
We'll listen to one more and then we'll listen to the other podcast episode that I wanted to listen to.
Where the pros are the pros. Castrating the marks.
There's so much to be said about the lack of journalism in wrestling. We could spend years talking about it. Yeah, we can. And the thing is that it's not going to improve because we got gatekeepers. We got people think that they know stuff. We got cutthroat people that would be like, oh, this person's not a journalist, and they would discredit anybody just so that way the ones on top could stay on top, because the moment that like the money goes away, the whole business falls. That is why you do things on your own. That's why you go to the beat of your own drum and you don't really do what other people are doing, and eventually people will gravitate towards you. If you build it, they will come, but they will not. But in this day and age, people believe more lies than anything, and it's kind of sad. But if you build your foundation on truth and transparency and try to be as open and honest as you can with your community, you will have a stronger community that will be there for you until like you fuck up somehow.
So sent in by Guillermo Gutierrez and Greg O'Grady. This is Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez talking about AEW's Hikaru Shida having a singles match
this one
on TV the day before the pay-per-view where she has a shot for the title.
Hikaru Shida is facing Deonna Purrazzo the night before she gets a championship match on pay-per-view.
Yes.
Why?
But it's not for the title shot.
I know, but it's just weird.
It's just a match, just to give her a win. I mean, that's happened only a billion times in wrestling. It's not anything to get worked up over.
I don't think Cody is doing a singles match the night before WrestleMania facing Roman Reigns. I'm positive that did not happen.
Okay, but guess what? You could probably count the times that the challenger champion wrestled a match on SmackDown before a pay-per-view, or on a Friday show, or on the Go Home Raw when they didn't have Friday or whatever. It happened all the time. This is not unusual whatsoever.
I want someone to go back and check this one out.
Thank you.
The challenge.
Thank you. Thank you. Because I'm thinking the same thing. I'm running it through. I'm running Hogan through in my mind.
Oh my God.
I don't think it ever happened, bro.
The only time that I can't think of a specific example, but I'm sure there were times where your shot at the pay-per-view is on the line tonight. I feel like there's been storyline reasons, but just a random match, I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, it is nice that Alvarez is asking for, all right, show me where then.
Yeah.
Challenger for the world title the next day, wrestling on SmackDown.
No, on SmackDown on the Friday before the pay-per-view, wrestling in a match.
The day before.
All the time.
A singles match, the challenger for the title.
All the time.
All right. Someone's going to find this. I guarantee it.
All the time. All the time. It happened in WCW before their pay-per-views. All the time. It happened on Mid-South Wrestling.
I'm not talking about that. I'm
television.
talking of late. I don't want to go back to Mid-South Wrestling.
I'm talking about...
He did say Mid-South, too. Dave did.
We're not going that far back.
I don't want to see the Mulkeys.
But again here, it's the what about this, what about that.
Yeah.
In context, Alvarez is just saying this doesn't make, why would you do this, right?
Funny thing is, both are right to a degree. This was just to give Shida a win before the pay-per-view, and it also didn't make sense storyline wise, because why would you risk it a competitor? Yeah, man, like again, it's one of those things of like, this is where the storyline cohesiveness, sorry, not cohesion, cohesive storytelling, like, it's non-existent. This is just Tony Khan fantasy booking, Mark booking, like all those buzzwords and whatnot, except for fantasy booking, because I don't think fantasy booking is like a buzzword. But Mark booking is like, yeah, we'll give you a shot and have you win right before the pay-per-view and whatnot. Like, what are you doing? Like, no, that's not that's not how things are supposed to go. Imagine if she got hurt, then what?
Right? Yeah. Why would you do this?
Yeah.
But well, and Dave's response is always, it's always been that way.
Yeah.
That's always his answer.
Yep.
I don't want to go back to Mid-South Wrestling.
I'm talking about.
I don't want to see the Mulkeys in 2024.
I'm talking about the history of wrestling. This is done all the time. I mean, this is not the slightest bit unusual.
I find this very unusual nowadays.
I have no idea why, because the idea of a challenger for a championship.
Bro, do you think, can we stop for a second? Do you think he off the air gets pissed at Alvarez and says something?
Probably.
Because Alvarez makes him look like an idiot so many times.
Yeah, I think there's certain times that we've heard where Alvarez is clearly pushing his buttons to get him to go this way. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
I have no idea why, because the idea of a challenger.
He needs to name the match, name the wrestlers, the date, and the name of the event if he's going to make a debate like that. Yep.
For a championship, winning a match on the last television show before the big championship match is a cornerstone of pro wrestling.
So you're telling me that when they do that Solo Sikoa Cody Rhodes match,
I don't know.
Solo's going to wrestle Friday night.
Wow, you got hot there. You got that. He got a little hot there. You never hear Dave get hot.
Yeah.
Well, we did with the. She's not a heel.
Cornerstone of pro wrestling.
Dave reaches back to the territory days. Dave reaches back to the territory days to try to prove a point. Yeah, you can't really do that. You know who does that a lot? Wrestling fans who think they know but they don't know, do that so much. Even in today's like climate, people would try to go back so many years to try to prove a point, and it's like that's a different way of thinking versus now, like two different mentalities, people grow up. People don't have the same mindset all the time. You might find the 1% of people that do have the same mindset as all the way back then, but for the most part, nobody has the same mindset. Everybody has grown up. So like, we got to stop trying to reach back into the past and be like, you as a wrestling fan would never survive the Attitude Era, or you're too soft and you're too this. You know, back then, back in my day, you can use that kind of stuff depending on what the conversation is and depending on like what you're trying to explain and trying to do a compare and contrast and whatnot. But for the most part, like, you know, you got to stop trying to go all the way to the past to try to prove a point when it's not needed in the conversation. Like trying to say that, you know, in IWA Mid-South, they did this all the time. Well, you got to prove it, Dave. You got to prove, you know, if you want to present this as a fact in your debate, you got to prove it. And if you can't prove it, don't say shit. Metzler and Alvarez sound like a divorced couple. Yeah, man. Somebody should make t-shirts and merchandise that Metzler and Alvarez like divorced couple or something. I don't know. I think that'd be funny. Dave Metzler and Alvarez is the cancer professional wrestling. It's them and other people, and then fans enable it. And when you enable something like that, that's not a very good thing to do.
Cody Rhodes match.
I don't know.
Solo's going to wrestle Friday night. I don't
He
think
might. He might. He might not. I mean, it's not like it happens every single
they'll
time.
do a contract signing, or they'll do
It
a
happens.
face-to-face. He ain't having a rando match.
That's WWE this year. If you look at this year wrestling, this is like a cornerstone. You put the challenger over on television right before the pay-per-view or before the big show, before the stadium show, before that. It happens constantly.
No, it doesn't.
Mercedes,
you haven't watched. It's television. That's exactly what you do.
I watched every single SmackDown. The challenger, not one time this year, is the challenger for the title.
God, this sounds like a conversation we'd be having with him. You know that, bro?
Yeah.
SmackDown. The challenger, not one time this year, is the challenger for the title. Wrestled on the Friday before SmackDown.
How does he not know? He watches it. But hold on, Jeff. How does he not know? He watches every show too. How does he not know?
I don't know. He takes notes and everything.
SmackDown. The challenger, not one time this year, is the challenger for the title. Wrestled on the Friday before SmackDown. Not one time this year.
I have no idea if that's true or not, but it doesn't matter because it's SmackDown in 2024 is not the history of wrestling, and it's not the history of wrestling booking, and it's not necessarily the greatest booking ever. You know, I mean, it's like I'm talking about something that this is a ridiculous.
It is, and my point is, I don't care.
A waste of
but
time.
It's like weird, like.
All right, so a couple of things to touch on. First, I'll read College Wrestling Guy's comment here. And they forget when the talk about the past, those people in business ran wrestling like a business. 100% true. They ran it like a business, not like Tony's Sandbox for a free for all. Totally right, 100%. And you saw how Uncle Dave is dismissive because Uncle Dave knows that he's trapped into a corner and he can't prove it. While Alvarez over here, it's like, yo, this doesn't make any sense. Like, we're not talking about the past, we're talking about right now. Like, why would AEW do this? And this is the problem, that Uncle Dave has put AEW so high on a pedestal that the moment that like his little bubble almost gets burst, he wants to be like, oh no, let's switch. We're not going to talk about it anymore. This is ridiculous. Bro, if you just would have said that, oh, I don't know, we would not have gotten this far in the conversation about it, it's one of those things of like, stop putting AEW on a pedestal. Everything that AEW does needs to be looked at and basically be told like, yo, you gotta change for the better, and not praise it, not blindly praise it. You know that phrase of toxic positivity? AEW and the fans created that shit. Because they want to be like, AEW is so perfect, AEW is so good, just accept it. No, don't accept it. Keep questioning it. Keep having conversations. But if you're going to keep having conversations and you're going to keep questioning it, make sure that you have some facts to back up what you say and how you say it. If you're going to say that, we're going to talk about IWA Mid-South. Well, how does IWA Mid-South, a particular specific example, how does IWA Mid-South pertains to the conversation about how come Hikaru Shida is fighting the day before the pay-per-view before her title match. Give a specific example from IWA Mid-South, Uncle Dave, or anybody else about, like, you know, what do you call it? That relates to the conversation. If you can't, stop using the past as a clutch to be like, oh, they did it in the past and just forget about it, because we're talking about the, you know, the current stuff. Dave was talking nonsense. How has he been writing about this medium for 40 years without picking up on its basic storytelling conventions and tropes? Oh, he knows about it. He's mentally, it's weird. I'm just gonna say that. I mean, my bestie has been watching with me for a year, and he gets how this works. That's a good thing.
This is supposed to be a big match on Saturday.
It's not
Why
weird.
is she facing Deanna the night before? Deanna's supposed to be like a star.
It's not weird. It happens all that even better. That she's a star, that makes it even better. It's a bigger win. That's exactly what you do. I know when I was growing up, before the frickin' Cow Palace show on the Saturdays TV, the same that aired that afternoon.
That's fine for the 70s.
Okay. It's not just the 70s. You could do it in every decade, constantly. It is a cornerstone of wrestling that you put the challenger over on television. In his run to
Not in his run, the day before.
The day of when you had same day TV, they did it
What?
everywhere, all the time.
No.
Come on, you didn't even pop for that scream.
Go ahead.
He yelled. That was a yell.
I didn't hear. Let me hear.
Not in his run, the day before.
The day of when you had same day TV, they did it everywhere, all the time. It was a regular occurrence because it's, this is ridiculous.
Oh, I didn't know that Bill Watts was still alive. But you know, Dave is not going to invite Bill onto the show to ask him that.
The Bucks are backstage.
Yeah, it is ridiculous, bro, because he called him out on it and he's got no proof. Give me an example. And he's throwing back 30, 40 years because Brian's going to remember from 30, 40 years ago.
Dude, in my head, Alvarez knows how great the She's Not a Heel was.
Yeah.
He's trying to get this. He did it. He snapped the day of.
Yeah.
And then Alvarez moves on. Did you notice that? He moved on then because he got it. That's how I feel like that's what he's doing.
God, that is unbelievable, bro.
Look what he's getting so upset over.
I know.
The actual topic that he's getting upset over, whether a challenger for a championship would wrestle on TV the show before. He's yelling.
Unreal, bro.
Well, we know about all the violence and stuff, the chair to the head, the bag over.
Oh, okay. So hold on. I think that was yeah, because Bill would destroy all of Dave's arguments. Yep. Okay, so wait. What's the rest of this?
The plastic bag over the head.
The blocks, syringes.
Yeah.
Obviously, we saw.
Well, the gang's all here. Let's hit the road.
It's the Disney Plus blockbuster offer.
That's right.
Saw a lot of crazy, violent
Stop for a
spots.
second. Look, bro, remember Kid and Play?
Yeah.
That's who his hair is really starting to look like now.
Oh my God.
Now it's getting freaking ridiculous, bro. Now it's become a parody of itself.
My grandma used to wear a hairnet.
Yeah.
And that her hair was in this shape when she had the hairnet on.
Yeah.
Like that's what it looks like.
Look at his face.
It's a bad pause.
On the show tonight, I'm just kind of curious, what is your process when going over, weighing the risk with a spot and whether or not, like, just the situation calls for it? Where do you kind of figure out on a day-to-day basis how to draw the line and not cross it, and whether or not a spot is worth it?
Okay. Do you got the question, Vince?
He's gonna say it's a good question.
Well,
Yeah.
of course. Do you got the question? Do you understand the question?
Yes.
Where's the line?
Yeah. What's too much? What's too much?
How do you decide? Okay, for violence.
Great question. I think it's something that the company has gotten better and better about, and we have the smartest pro wrestlers, the smartest coaches, and we've only added more great wrestlers. We've seen the roster get better and better, and in the backstage, more coaches, more great people, and a lot of thought went into tonight's show. And you saw, in my opinion, the best professional wrestlers in the world go out there, and you saw so many different things, different kinds of matches, different kinds of rivalries, different kinds of results, and different kinds of emotions. And it was a roller coaster. And I felt like it was a fantastic show tonight. And I felt really great about what we put out there. And, I do appreciate where your question's coming from, but I also think it's from having the best wrestlers and the best staff and the best fans in the world. That's how we were able to put out a product tonight, and it takes everybody working together, the wrestlers and the fans and the staff all coming together.
It takes everybody working together, including the fans, to put a plastic bag over somebody's head. That's what he just said.
He hasn't even addressed it, the question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Do something as special as this, and it was a very, very ambitious effort, to say the least.
He did not answer the question.
That's where the Sports Illustrated dude needs to say, bro, you didn't answer the question.
Yeah, unless the person takes the microphone away from them after they ask it.
Yeah.
TK never makes any sense.
What's he going to say, Jeff? What's he going to say? There is no line? What's he going to say?
Why even do these, man? You're not all you wanted to do is talk about how great you are. That's it.
Yep.
Answer the guy's question.
Okay. I didn't realize that was like the end of that. Now, we are going to be finishing off with Undertaker's podcast. Yeah, I did hear about Mercedes having heat backstage. Like that's nothing new. People don't want to accept that she has this ego going on, and people want to be like, oh my God, she's amazing. She's this. No, she's not. You could tell that she has an attitude, and that like everywhere she goes, she's gonna have like backstage heat for like no reason. And it's probably like can definitely be like no reason. But yeah, I heard that she has backstage heat, whether it's true or not, but you could definitely tell that just because based on her attitude and what she wants to do and how she wants to be presented, but then again, that whole entire locker room in AEW has heat with each other, has drama with each other. It doesn't make any sense. Like, that's the one locker room that there's a story coming out almost like every other week or every week. And it's like, how do you keep up with all of those stories that come out? Like, what? Like, AEW needs to learn how to stop leaking out stories so that way they could get like some positive press rather than like getting press for the sake of getting press. And it's not like productive at all. Not all publicity is good publicity, They gave her creative control. That's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Yeah. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to listen to this podcast, the whole entire thing. Definitely when Cody left, everything changed. That's when you knew like stuff was going to be bad. So we're going to listen to this. And then this will be the last thing. By the way, guys, if anybody wants to help out, I still have not connected the treat stream to my YouTube because I haven't done that yet. It is only connected to the Twitch side of things. So when I include treats, it's gonna it will work with Twitch. If anybody wants to end up buying me food to continue the stream, by all means, go ahead. But it's there as like a suggestion. But yeah, the last time that we did treats, it's basically someone had ordered McDonald's for me, and then like when it came to my door, the freaking soda spilled at my front door and in my house, and I had to clean it up. And I was just like, what the fuck, man? Like I was looking forward to having a Dr. Pepper, but the container spilled, so I had to clean it up, and I was like, damn, man. But yeah, if anybody wants to end up buying me treats, it's gonna have to be over on the Twitch side of things to get the link. I mean, you probably could click the link here in YouTube. I just don't know what. Oh, it does work. Ah, interesting. I didn't know that. I just thought it was you must be logged in though, whether that's YouTube, Twitch. They still got Mixer on here, and they got Facebook on here too. So if anybody wants to end up buying me food, you can. That would be very, very, very appreciative. Very appreciative. Yo, CP, what's up? MM has her own locker room, own writer, own creative control, and she gets paid the most money of the female talent. That I would love to see how much she really gets paid, like a legit pay stub. Because for her to be overpaid, man, like I don't know. Yeah, I can see why she has heat. Blame TK. Yeah, I'll blame Tony Khan, but I would love to see like an invoice or something of how much she gets paid. Considering how many little tidbits have come out about several people in the AEW women's division, the working climate over there seems horrifying. I feel sorry for any of them. And that's all you can do, right? Because it's sort of like, if you're going to be hearing these horrible stories like week in, week out, you have to question of like, yo, is anybody sane over there? I don't think nobody is sane. All right. So like I said, I am J-Rod said they should change it to ADW, all drama wrestling. They probably should, man. All right, on the Twitch side of things, I'm running a quick set of ads. We're gonna take a quick tiny break. If anybody wants, again, to get me food, the link is there. And then we're gonna watch the whole entire podcast episode of Undertaker Stain, and then we'll be right back.
What we haven't done in a while?
Put out a good podcast.
We haven't done a giveaway.
We ain't done a giveaway in a while.
Oh, no. So for the month of September, I came up with an idea.
What do you got?
We've been putting cash in the urn.
All
We'll
right.
keep doing that.
All right.
I'll get a different urn. Let's give away the urn.
Full cash?
Not full of cash. Something even better.
Come on.
Kane's been in the studio.
Right.
So what I did was I had Kane sign the urn. Maybe I can convince you to sign it as well.
I think we can do that.
We're going to give it away to one lucky fan. All you have to do.
What do you got to do? Tell me.
Go over to our Spotify. Give us a follow, a 5-star review, and leave a comment. It can be any comment. We don't care. Undertaker's great. Brothers of Destruction, greatest tag team ever.
Right.
Matt's
Maybe I should do that and tell everybody to go to my Spotify and do the same thing. Except that I don't really do giveaways because I don't understand how to do giveaways. And if I were to send something to somebody, I'm not sure what that would be. And then I don't know how much the shipping would be, and I can't afford shipping depending on where you're at, I should say. So like, that's why I don't do giveaways. But what I can do, other than you liking this YouTube episode, right? Which I would appreciate it if you do give it a like and stuff like that. But if you do not know about my podcast on Spotify, if I can find it rather than like searching it. Here we go. If you guys could go over to my Spotify link, I guess give it a like, I don't know. But I should probably do that. And it's in the chat.
whatever. We don't care what you write in there. Just leave a comment, a 5-star review, and follow the
So I skipped ahead.
He went to the Texas game and came to Terry Black's. They had a whole section blocked off for him and everything else. I screamed out to him that I knew the Undertaker, but
yeah,
he was,
he's probably like, you don't know no Undertaker.
He was like, I'm a Brock Lesnar guy. I was like, whoa, hey,
never mind.
It's all right, cool.
It's all good.
Yeah, go Fins.
Oh my!
But yeah, like a bunch of Texas folks. I don't know former players, if not or whatever, but they got to go sit with him. But yeah, that was Texas yesterday. It was pretty crowded down there with a lot of orange, a lot of burnt orange downtown.
Burnt orange.
Yeah,
Real
burnt
orange.
Pantone 151. That's the real color.
Whew.
Man, you know the Pantone color and everything.
Well,
Man.
There's some things you just have to be proud of, and that's one of them.
I call that what, construction orange.
Construction orange.
Construction orange.
Road going fast.
Even
turkey hunting orange. Turkey hunting orange. It is high vis. I'll give you that. Yeah, 100 safety orange.
Oh my gosh! It was just easier for the fans, you know. Them rednecks up here at Knoxville, them hillbillies just come out of the woods and just go straight to the football game. So they're like, we might as well make this our school colors.
Your constituents, man. You defend your constituents.
I'm getting beat down. I'm getting stomped by the combat flip flops.
Yeah, just don't take that, man. Just smack him.
No.
Yes.
I would never want to be smacked.
Yes.
Oh my
He'd
god.
smack you so hard you wouldn't even feel it.
Well, speaking of getting smacked, our boy Gunther won yesterday against Randy.
Are you shocked?
No. What do you think about Gunther? He's our guy right now.
What do I think about him? I think he's a big raw bone dude. I think he's talented though.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Those chops.
Yeah. You love chops.
Yeah. He'd already had to change his offense. He's working with me. I'd probably give him one or two, but he would exceed the limit really quick, and he would have to come up with something a little bit. No, I like him. I think he's a kind of a throwback to a different era, and you know he does. As painful as those chops look, I mean, he actually you think he's beating you down, which he is.
Yeah.
Without doing a bunch of aerial attack. It's just nice to see somebody grind somebody down, and I think he's going to have to. I think he's going to have to be careful. If he doesn't add a little bit of, he needs to add a little more. I think chicken shit to his repertoire, or he's going to become a babyface much sooner than he expects. That's just the way it is now.
Yeah. But Randy Orton didn't walk out of that ring last night with his chest bleeding like a lot of opponents. So I think
I imagine.
They probably had a conversation about that.
Yeah, there was a long conversation. Dude, I'm going to sell for you. You have to hit me so many times.
Were you a guy that, I mean, if somebody like that was going to, he's known for his chops, were you okay with, lay it in?
Yeah, but then, you'd also have to give it back.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I was fine with that, but, on the other side is like, I'm probably going to hit you back too. So,
Yo, Sports Jedi. Afternoon. Welcome. I'm sorry, J-Rod. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. I have to make up for revenue over at Twitch, so I have to end up playing ads. I'm so sorry. Raheem, chicken poop. Yeah. Basically Undertaker was explaining that when Gunther is out there, because Kane has said to Undertaker that Undertaker likes chops. So basically Gunther has to do more chicken shit stuff. If not, he's gonna become a babyface way too early. And I'm glad, Denisha, you just got off work. Let me see. This was posted just so that way we know the timeline for that comment. 8 days ago. This is from 8 days ago. So
prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a receipt.
Yeah.
Wait, who'd you give it a receipt? Was it Big Show?
It was Big Show.
Yeah, this is a good story.
Yeah. Poor Paul. And I love Paul, man.
We do, but we took it upon ourselves really to try and put him under the learning tree and.
Okay.
And there were some tough lessons.
There were some tough lessons had to be learned, and I think he's appreciative now. He not so much during it, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so we were all. He had some heat anyway. Remember? Because yeah, not him. No, he left the WrestleMania early or whatever. Remember that? And then
I thought you were talking about something serious, like trying to palm the 5-5 when we were playing dominoes.
Well, that too,
he almost got beat up over that.
Yeah, he did.
It would have took everybody there.
Yeah.
But.
So anyway, we're for some reason in their infinite wisdom, WWE decides to book a show in Trenton, New Jersey, right before a big pay-per-view at King of the Ring at Meadowlands, which is like 45 minutes down the New Jersey Turnpike. There is no one in Trenton because they're all going the next day to the Meadowlands, right? And then in their infinite wisdom, they book Kane and the Big Show in a steel cage in Trenton with nobody there. There's like 1,500 people there. So I'm already in a not great mood because just all this stuff. I'm like, really? Could we not just have like an entertaining night instead of like a steel cage? But and pay-per-view tomorrow. But okay.
I'm sorry not to cut you off. Was it the blue cage? The
the old school.
Yeah,
So
the one like if you hit it in any, if you would just brush up against it, you hurt yourself. Yeah. There was nothing soft anywhere in this thing. Yeah. So poor Paul, and he's all nervous for some reason. Well, he's all nervous because I said he was trying to fit in, and there had kind of been some stuff. Anyway,
kind of a little bit of stuff.
So
nothing we need to elaborate on at the moment.
Yeah. So we get in there, and it's about just 4 or 5 minutes in the match. And he would always say, I'm sorry before he'd chop you in the chest, right? It's preemptive apology because he's about to tater.
Hit you with a frying pan.
Yeah, I mean, it was like cast iron skillet.
It's like a dad right before he whips you.
Yeah, it's like, bro, did you get that thing at Cracker Barrel, or what is that anyway? So he's got all this. We're in a steel cage. He can run me into this. He can do all this stuff, right? All of which I can make look good, but the pain involved is minimal and the discomfort to my body. Well, he bends me over the top rope, and he's like, sorry. And I went, me too. And he had this weird look on his face. Like, what do you mean? So he slaps me. And I drilled him right in the face. And we went on about another minute, and that was the end of the match. And then afterwards, though, I thought, he's 7 feet tall and 500 pounds. I don't know if that's the smartest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
I don't think so
Sometimes
either.
You just got to roll the dice. And if you don't get eaten,
I survived. It was good.
And then it helps your street cred down the line. Like,
it was good.
Man,
it was
Kane,
good.
he blasted Big Show.
Now, what was the conversation in the locker room after that
I was
match?
like, Paul, why did you do that? He's like, why did you punch me? I was like, why did you slap me in the chest when you had all these things that you could run me into and bounce me off of? It was fine. It was fine. It was just another lesson.
Just another lesson.
Yeah, just another lesson. Learning tree.
He learned many.
He did.
He did. Well, see, his very first match,
oh my God, Kane
ever, he wins the world title.
Yeah.
That's how his career starts.
Yeah.
In WCW, right?
Okay.
Comes in, I don't know, did he beat Terry? Was that who it was?
Yeah.
So he beats
first
Hogan.
night, Hogan.
He beats Terry in his very first match. He beats Hulk Hogan. And then, in that system down there with those personalities and those, man, he was a handful when he come up.
Yeah.
He thought his didn't stink, and it was going to be his way, and he was in for a rude awakening.
And when you're that big, I mean, it just...
Well, yeah, at the time, he was a natural bully.
Yeah.
And he would talk to people, and I would just like be... No. That's not how we do not talk about.
Do you remember the SummerSlam that we had in Minneapolis? And it was me and X-Pac against you and Show.
Yes.
You literally slapped
Oh my God.
You just slapped your own tag team partner. It was a hard tag. Was
it was, come here. Whack.
On a pay-per-view. Okay.
I was a little different.
So what happened? What's going on here? Let's lay the groundwork here.
He was doing great. Like he was beating X-Pac up, and then he did something. He stepped on him or something. That
something
was just
stupid that
something
a giant
dumb.
wouldn't do.
And then you told him. I think you told him not to do it before.
I told him not to do it, and it made him look like, being a giant, especially back then. Now it's kind of a curse to be a giant, but back then, if you were like that big, it's just a blessing. That's just like what Coach John Wooden. You can't teach height, right?
Yeah.
And you can't teach that size. And he's a really good athlete,
great athlete,
especially for as big as he is. But he's a really good athlete, and he does things. Sometimes he would do things that would just go like, oh, a giant would not do that.
Yeah.
A killer. And that's what we're trying to. We're trying to make him.
Yeah.
And he would do something silly, and then I just like, I would tell people. I would tell like 2 or 3 times, and then finally it's just like, I have to up the stakes here because you're not listening to me, and you're you're harming your own career, and I'm trying to help you, but you got to listen to me. And I think he did it. I don't even know what he stepped on.
Yeah, I forget what it was.
It was something. I just lost it a little bit.
He literally said, "Come here." Granted, 3-on-1 now.
Yeah, granted, he could have killed me and ate me, and just
we were so fortunate he didn't realize how big he really was.
Yeah.
I think that was the case. I think we had ganged up on him enough. Like he knew. All right, if he jumped on me, he was going to have to jump on Kane. He was going to have to jump on Godfather.
Yeah.
So I think there was enough people that this wasn't worth it.
Thank goodness.
It wasn't worth it. Maybe I should listen. And it's funny because later on, like I would hear him telling some other kid, right? Some of the things that I had told him, and I was just thinking, what a full circle moment. But he was. Yeah, he about sealed his own fate one day. When we used to play dominoes, and there was no money in change. It wasn't money. It was for pride.
For pride.
By the way, I just wanted to mention that I am still a little surprised about what do you call it? When wrestlers say they used to play dominoes, because dominoes is primarily a Hispanic thing. So like you're not really you don't really know who actually plays it except for like Hispanics, but it's kind of interesting to still hear that, Undertaker would, all right, cool, J-Rod, that, Undertaker would say that they used to play dominoes. Like, I wonder who started it.
Just far.
Not who started dominoes, the game, but like, who in the back in wrestling in the locker room was like, I'm going to teach you guys how to play dominoes. Yeah, I heard that too. That Savio Vega would do that. I might have to ask him one day. Guarantee they got it from Hispanic wrestlers. They probably did, but who? But I just wanted to know the person that was like, "We're gonna play some dominoes today, guys. I'm gonna teach you."
Are more important than money.
And I think Kane and I were partners. We were playing partners. Kane and I were partners, and Show was playing with somebody else.
Was it A-Train?
May have been A-Train. Yeah. A-Train. And so, once somebody plays your last domino, you add up points, everybody, then the other team, they do the dishes, right? They shake the dominoes. Well, I think Kane I think you're the one that caught him. Anyway, he knew where the 5-5 was, and his hands are so big, like he palms the 5-5. So that he has it.
Oh.
That's a big scoring domino, right? So he's boom, 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 and then he pulls it back, and he gets called out, and oh my, it was not pretty. It was what? My hands are big. They got my hands. And then it made it worse, right? Like not only are you cheating, now you're going to lie when you're cold busted. I think that may have been one of the most mad that I actually ever was at him for real. Like, is trying to cheat at dominoes. It was you don't cheat at dominoes. I don't care integrity. I don't care what you do outside in the bars or whatever else. Just don't cheat on the domino table.
This is fascinating to me because I'm half Puerto Rican, so like it's a fascinating conversation to me. Very fascinating.
I think he got banned for a while. I don't think he was allowed to play for a while because he'd walk by all mopey.
So this didn't have to go to wrestler's court at all. This was
the judge summary judgment.
It was right then and there.
Yeah,
it was.
So were you ever part of any wrestler's courts?
No, I was a bailiff once.
Okay.
He was a bailiff once.
And I wasn't involved in any of the prosecution or any of the actual undertaking of the justice court. Justice being served. It was Brian Gerwitz who was one of the writers, and he was accused, I think, of having too cozy a relationship with Edge and Christian by Bob Holly, of all people. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
That's not going to turn out good.
Yeah. So I was in charge of keeping order in the courtroom. I didn't really do anything, but I just
Well, I mean, you didn't have to.
That
When
was
you're
a really
standing
big.
there, you're not going to have to.
That was big. That was a big turnout too.
Yeah,
that room was full. Everybody was there.
And Brian didn't know, actually how you survive wrestlers court, which is with Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels, and sorry to everybody.
Yeah,
it's usually
takes care of it. He didn't understand that, so he's actually trying to make a defense case. I'm sitting there like,
all you had to do is just bring a bottle of Jack.
Just bribe the judge, dude. Yeah, and you're good.
Bailiff's over there going,
Just bribe the judge.
Yeah, just bribe the judge, and you're good.
Undertaking a wrestler's court is hilarious. Yeah.
No, quit. You're making it worse.
You are making it worse. Just get the Jack Daniels,
shut up.
and you'll be fine.
Shut up. Getting whiskey, say you're sorry. Everything will be great.
That's simple.
It's all it took. But
yeah.
Chat. Hold on, I have to pause because I'm looking at I don't even remember how many friends we had last. We're up to 584 in like friends and like subscribers. I don't remember what it was before. Wow. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing and becoming part of the family of the Square Circle podcast here. Thank you guys.
When did y'all first meet? Mark, we got a new sponsor.
We do, man. This is a big one.
DraftKings. This weekend, got something big happening. And
okay, I'm
when
sorry.
did you actually get a deal to be able to be a professional wrestler?
It's like, when did I get trained and all that?
Yeah, like when was all?
So my first full-time job was in Puerto Rico. That would have been 1994. Okay. Before that, I was kind of just doing independence and just doing whatever work I could. I started training like 91, and then, like I said, from there, back then what you would do was, we didn't have like the performance or anything like that. I mean, you would get a little bit of training and you would just start.
Yeah.
Hit the road.
Try and find some place to get booked. Yeah.
Exactly. It was all on the job.
Do you remember your first match?
Yeah, I do. It was at the it was in St. Louis, Missouri at the time, as a Stegton banquet hall overlooking the Missouri River.
Banquet hall.
Yeah.
Mine was in the Knights of Columbus.
It was a nice wedding venue.
Yeah. Do you remember who you wrestled?
He has a guy called the Night Master.
The Night Master.
Yeah, he's the guy that he'd give me a little training and stuff.
Yeah.
And actually,
I guess,
he had a
right?
barn. It was like close to Kingdom City, Missouri, which is literally smack dab in the middle of Missouri. And he had a barn, and in the barn he had a hayloft. That's where the ring was.
In the hayloft?
In the hayloft. That was my first lesson.
Second level, second floor here?
Brother, yeah, bro.
That's take a bad bump.
That's some trust right there. That's a good barn.
Yeah.
Oh my! Who was the first quote unquote real, like, where you walked in the ring, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm standing in front of this guy?
Oh man, it's Lawler actually.
Yeah.
Well, I went down and did some shots for them as the Christmas tree.
I've got a list of your.
I may as well just preemptively take care of that. But yeah, seriously, I mean, because Lawler was like a huge deal.
Yep.
I mean, seeing him, especially, this is back early 90s, so it wasn't that long removed from the Andy Kaufman stuff and all that, and he was legendary, man. So, and it was like in Kennett, Missouri, so it was one of those little bitty towns and that we were talking about before. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, man, this is Jerry Lawler. How awesome is this? Yeah, and I'm dressed as a Christmas tree. That's not quite as awesome, but it's cool.
Yeah.
So
you got to look at the positive, right?
Exactly.
Everybody loves Christmas.
So you were the Christmas creature.
Yes.
How many matches did you?
Oh man, that only lasted
short runs.
Yeah, it only lasted about 2 weeks.
Only a season.
Yeah, it was only the holiday season.
October, he's like Jack-o'-lantern.
Oh my God!
Thank goodness they didn't call me like Easter and have me like the
bunny.
For
Easter.
Like,
was so close to being like. Your tag team could have been like the holidays or something. The Christmas creature. You're the turkey egg.
What?
Yeah, man.
I mean, you could have been Eggman that comes out of the turkey from Thanksgiving.
We could have ruined all of them.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, y'all could have been a holiday tag team here.
Yeah, that'd have been terrible.
It would have been awful. We wouldn't have been able to get booked.
And early on, you definitely had some different characters. I'm gonna name off a couple that I found online here. Okay, we've got Angus King.
Yes. Yeah, now that was my own name.
Angus
Because
King.
I was a fan of AC/DC, so it was
Angus.
Angus and Angus.
I had
sounded
AC/DC
cool.
playing in the car on the way here.
Yeah, and I was just trying. I mean,
Cupid,
I just made
nah.
that up myself.
Okay. Yeah. You had Bruiser Mastino.
That was one match. That was a joke, actually, on me.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a match against Sting in WCW. It was my only match in WCW.
And it was against Sting.
Mm-hmm.
You wrestled Sting, and this guy did.
I wrestled Sting.
Well, over there, but not as Undertaker.
Well,
yeah.
Ain't my fault.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Why are you starting to start?
I'm just, hey, the fans want what they want.
Well, hey,
Oh, my
you know
God.
what? You can want in one hand and crap in the other. Let's see which one fills
you
up
not
faster.
cussing over here. You got the
Wow.
mayor. Yeah. So
Wow.
I'll say this about Sting. He was awesome. You know, I was absolutely nobody. It was just a job match. And he was great. And afterwards, you know, came in and said I did a good job and thanked me and everything. So he was really cool and very classy about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And of course, the Christmas tree creature.
It's just Christmas creature, but I look like
Or Christmas creature, yes.
My mom made that outfit.
Wow.
She did.
Your mom had
My mom made the outfit.
I remember that.
And it even had integrated lights. So you know how Jericho had his cute little jacket? I beat him to it with my Christmas lights. I'm the Christmas creature.
Your lights worked? I didn't
My
know
lights
that.
worked. They had a battery pack and everything. And my mom did that.
Did you actually
Wow.
wear the outfit in the ring, wrestle as a Christmas tree?
Yes. I wore the
This
outfit
wasn't
around
a
the
thing
house,
that
Do you
man.
not know anything about?
I've never seen this. I've never.
He obviously doesn't know if you have to ask, right? Like, man, I don't know if we can find it. Wait, what? Oh, that's just a picture. What is... Is there no video? Wow, there's no video. It's a picture. Okay, so I don't know how accurate this is, but hold on, let me switch. For those that wanted to see the picture, I don't know how accurate it is, but there it is. Oh. What do we even say to that? Nah, it's on YouTube. The match is on YouTube. Oh. You're welcome.
Ever.
About Lawler's territory?
I was dressed as a Christmas tree in the ring, Matt, with lights. Actually, it looked like a Swamp Thing because it kind of had the Swamp Thing.
He's not wrong. He did look like Swamp Thing. He's not wrong.
The garland kind of made the face look like the swamp creature.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The garland. And you had that. Wait, didn't you have like peppermint socks?
I did have peppermint socks. Yes. Yes. It was
That's awesome.
It was straight out of Dr. Seuss. I was like the Grinch that stole Christmas, just bigger and not as talented.
Big Grinch.
What we do for money.
Wow.
Right.
That's great. That's
You
awesome.
were.
I forgot about the peppermint socks.
You were Doomsday. Mm-hmm. Okay. How long of a run did that have?
That was that was actually Puerto Rico and then USWA. So that was on and off for a couple years. That was Doomsday. At the time, Doomsday was he'd killed Superman in DC Comics.
Okay.
So I thought that's pretty cool. Yeah.
You killed Superman.
Yeah, I killed a couple territories with that one.
Beat me to it.
Darn it.
Then you were Mike Unabomb.
No. There's never that's not true.
So that's not a real one.
No.
Were you Unabomb?
Unabomb, yes.
Okay, so you weren't Mike Unabomb.
No.
All right, I thought you just got creative there and added or took down the mic.
No.
Sid Powers?
Nope.
Never a Sid Powers.
Nope.
Spartacus?
Yes, that was Germany.
Okay.
Anna Vance thought that was a cool name, so he called me Spartacus, and then
That's
everybody's
pretty
like,
cool
I
name.
am Spartacus.
Spartacus.
I am
Spartacus.
Spartacus. Yes.
And then, of course, everyone knows the Isaac Yankem.
Yep.
Yeah, DDS.
Yeah.
You were Fake Diesel.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally Kane.
Yes. Now ask me which one was my favorite.
Which one is your favorite?
That's a Kane. No, Kane.
But if you think about it, your career, you probably went through more tough gimmicks than probably any other professional.
I don't know about that. I mean,
really?
I had a few that were not. The one thing you have to remember is just starting out, so you just get everything you could. So I don't know that I had. I mean, I had some that weren't great, obviously, but you have I think a Terry Taylor and like the Red Rooster and
Right.
Fred Ottman and the
Yeah.
whole Shockmaster thing. So I had my fair share, but I don't know if I had the most or the worst actually.
Yeah, well, I will just say though, it's amazing that you were able to go on and take Kane to the levels. Well, I mean, Isaac Yankem. I mean, you're a huge human being, so you already catch people's attention. But so Isaac Yankem, and then Fake Diesel. I mean, those are nails in the coffin
For a lot of careers.
Yeah, and if you don't have the right attitude.
Yeah,
and the right mindset. No,
because also
it's a little demoralizing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and I mean, that's the whole thing. Like when you're in a character like Isaac Yankem, I mean, you've got to be thinking they're not going to put the title on Isaac Yankem.
Yeah, you have to realize
Interesting.
where your ceiling is right away
Yeah.
when you get a gimmick.
Yeah,
like I'll tell you who I would have never thought would get to the heights from where he started would be like Triple H.
Yeah.
The fancy blue blood Connecticut. Rudy Poo.
Yeah.
To take it to become the game and all of that. That's a really unusual kind of deal to be able to take something and for him to stay Triple H the whole time and take it from being
That's
this
true.
thing to riding in on WrestleMania on a big skulled out chopper it was a testament to.
Were you ever, when you were like Isaac Yankem?
I think one thing, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think one thing to keep in mind is, the business was evolving, just they were taking it different directions. And when I first came in as the Isaac Yankem character in '95, it was very PG.
Yeah.
And it was very cartoon, literally cartoon driven. So you had like T.H. Hopper, the Thug, just all these really over the top literal characters.
Comic book feel to it.
And that's where the company was really going. And then I think what happened was they realized that with Austin, and I think Austin was a bit of a mistake. Like, well, I don't want to say a mistake, it was an accident in that.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah, this guy's catching fire and he's doing it by being very cutting edge and very real.
Yeah.
As opposed to these over here. And that's when everything shifted when they realized too, and then WCW is starting to make their run and they realized, okay, we have to do something different.
A little bit more reality based.
And I understand and then they've done it, every once in a while they kind of go that direction because they're trying to get, just make it more family friendly. And obviously, that's a huge consumer base. But that's where we were at that point. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to stick this kid with a terrible gimmick. It was like, we think this is great because it's kind of, the epitome of where everything's going right now. I just couldn't sink my teeth into it. But I'm up to.
Now, when you were like Isaac Yankem and you were these other characters, were you ever sitting there thinking, I know I got more?
Oh, yeah.
I've got more than this.
Literally, when they told me the Isaac Yankem deal, I was like, really? Really? I'm 6'8" and 300 pounds, and you're going to make me a wrestling dentist?
Yeah.
Kids are scared of dentists.
I mean, hey, I don't know if it gets brought up, but like Britt Baker is a legit dentist. So, I mean, we now have a dentist in wrestling.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah. So yes, and then you see like Undertaker and just all these other like cool characters, and I was like, yeah, man, this is there has to be something more for this. So unfortunately, almost immediately, I was like, yeah, this is just not going to work for me.
Yeah. Were you ever watching guys like Taker and just trying to pull a little bit from what they were doing?
I stole everything from him.
Well,
I mean, Tombstone.
I stole everything from him.
I took it all.
The Kane character.
Mint Mobile Unlimited
Oh my
Premium
God.
Wireless. How did you get 30/30?
With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring up.
It's actually really easy for you.
It was Undertaker repackage.
Okay, all I got to do is I'm going to give him on this video game real quick. One of these moves. All right,
Pretty much,
yeah.
I was like, oh, he does that. Okay, I'll do that.
That's funny.
I don't have to come up with anything. This is awesome. When did they come to you and both of y'all about the Kane character? When did that happen?
That was after I had gone back. You were back in Tennessee as Unabomb, and they sent me down because they were doing great business already, from what I gathered, and they asked if I would go down and work with him, and he'd come a long way from when his tryout to where he was then, and I went back and I was like, we got to get this guy up here. He's just like he's. Back then, I don't know how they do it. They even worry about it, or they just figure somebody's going. But back in the day, man, you look for people that you could work with. And I went down there and we tore it down at the Civic Center in Knoxville. And I went back. I was like, we got to get this guy's ready for the show. And I think it wasn't too much longer.
Yeah, it came up. Yeah. Well, but then that was when we had the Isaac Yankem and all that, characters.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
You
so
came up from
that got
Isaac.
me in.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, yes, I'm twisted.
But I was back in Tennessee.
That's right.
But I was working with Lawler, actually.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't remember when. I don't know when they told you. I can't remember. It was when Vader had gotten arrested in Kuwait. And
this story.
That was kind of the impetus for the
Vader
whole deal.
got arrested in Kuwait.
Oh,
that's a different. That's
that's a great story.
All right. Okay.
I don't know, should we tell that story before we get into the?
Yeah, that's a much better story, actually.
Because I'm a huge Vader fan. And,
this is great.
And I've been to Kuwait, and
All right. So at the time, I happened to be world champion, right? So we're in Kuwait. I think we had been to India. We'd been to a bunch of different places, but we're in Kuwait, and we're basically doing the equivalent of one of the morning shows here, like Good Morning America, whatever, right? It's the Kuwaiti version. And so there's the interviewer is sitting directly across from me. There's a table, and then there's a couch over here where Vader is sitting, he's sitting much closer to the interviewer than I am. I'm the farthest away, and we're promoting that me and him I'm going to defend the title tonight against Vader. And so we're doing our regular spiel, and I'm not saying a whole lot, but I'm saying just enough to stay in character and promote and everything else. And then the guy asked the question. He just couldn't help himself. He just had to ask, like,
don't ask that question.
Isn't it fake?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Don't ask that question.
Now, so I'm sitting, I'm about like this. I'm sitting like this. I've got the belt sitting in my lap like this. I've got my hat, my shades on, and I'm just sitting there. And this guy, now inside, now on the outside, I look as cool as can be, right? Now on the inside, I'm like, oh no, he didn't. Because I knew what Leon was going to do, and he did. Yep. He sat up on the edge of that thing, and he grabbed that guy. Thank goodness. I mean, he didn't. I think he just shook him a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't hit him.
The guy didn't appreciate getting manhandled like that one bit.
Well, yeah.
So then they shut everything down, and Jerry Briscoe was he was the producer that was with us, the road agent. He got me, grabbed me, told me to get in the car like right away. So
it was awesome because the whole time, like, Leon's got the guy Mark's sitting there like this.
And I'm like, oh, Leon. I never broke character. I'm like, oh, Leon. I'm thinking in my head, like, oh, Leon, please let him go. Don't hit him, Leon. Please don't hit him. Oh my gosh, they're gonna behead him.
Mark.
Yes, sir.
Our great sponsor here.
Looking back, Leon. Yeah, he had to stay. We went home. He had to stay like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, we're like at the hotel, like the Kuwaiti army's here to arrest my
Oh God!
Remember, they do these graphics on Raw, and it's like a picture of Leon, like,
oh my God!
He's in jail in Kuwait. We're back doing TV.
So he's in jail in Kuwait, and there's no one to work with Undertaker. And that's where they kind of came up with the idea for Kane. And then I can remember who I talked to, if it was Bruce or who, from a payphone in like Jackson, Tennessee, and he's like, hey, we want to do this thing. And I'm like, that's awesome. And then initially it was just supposed to be like a one-off. Yeah, it was a one-off. And then Vince, I guess, liked the idea so much that...
Well, there was a little bit of a reaction.
Yeah, I think what happened
was
in
the
that
debut.
cage that night. Yeah. I think that won the audience over very much.
Yeah, you just know. Like when you're in there, you do certain things. And some you don't have to say anything because obviously there was no word spoken, but you just have a feel when something special's about to happen or there's the potential for it. And that night, man, it was. You could feel it.
What was the conversation in the locker room before?
I don't really
before yours and Sean's match.
I don't know that we really spoke a lot other than what we were going to do.
Yeah, we didn't. Now, one of the cool things, though, is people ask where the pyro cue came from, right?
Yeah.
And that was all him. He's like, everything, Kane is the opposite of Undertaker. So at the time he would go out, and this is before you almost got your face burnt off the one time, but he would go out and, lift the lights, and there'd be a concussion and flame projectors on the corners of the ring. And he's like, why don't you do the opposite? So it was up and then down and then boom and all that stuff. Yeah, so that was all his idea. And I think, but we walked through it, and that was really about it. I don't think we talked about it.
I think our biggest concern was the door, making sure the door he was going to rip the door off.
Yeah.
That was the biggest concern. And then when you're out there and you're in it and we're face to face, you can just feel the buzz.
Because at that point you've got a Hall of Fame career kind of already in the sack, in my opinion. And so for you though, that was.
Dad had a Hall of Shame career up until that point, so you did have a Hall of Shame.
Oh my God, a Hall of Shame!
This has got to be for you walking out there like, holy crap!
Oh yeah,
this is what I've been chasing.
Well, it was awesome, but then it was also like, why'd those guys have to have such a good match too? It's like, and this is, it was a big deal. What WWE I think had done really well is they planted the seeds for Kane, but then they went away from it, and
so you forgot,
and
right? You get lost in the match, right? Because at that point, Sean and I had a really long history, and we'd been involved in this angle for such a long time, and like you said, we just planted some seeds along the way, a couple of promos from Paul Bearer, but you get lost in that match and. Undertaker finally getting his hands on Shawn Michaels without any chance of interference and what's going to happen, and exactly what was supposed to happen was happening. I was beating him, to an inch of his life, and then
I messed it up.
He just screwed the whole thing up.
So
in a good way.
Yeah, in a very good way. I mean, it changed the hands of time.
But man, I was like, good Lord, these guys are having like, one of the greatest matches ever, and I'm gonna go out there and just mess the whole thing up. That was my biggest concern.
The door's not gonna come off.
Yes. Oh gosh.
So that'd be worse than the Shockmaster tripping.
Yes.
What's he shaking the door for?
Ooh, that's intimidating.
Oh yeah.
You've got some dude come up and upset with a key. It's not very. It's like, hang on 1 second, guys.
He's got like 50 keys. He's
going through all of them.
Paul's are like, son.
Oh, you lost the keys. You're standing in that ring and y'all are facing off with each other. What was going through your head at that moment? Because I feel like this is finally your moment.
Yeah, no, that was the first time I felt like a real like WWE superstar.
Yeah.
Because you had just, again, all the buzz and all the, man, when I first walked out, it was amazing because the place just went silent. I mean, no one knew what was going on, right? And then literally it was almost like people with one mind realized what was happening, because obviously the folks in the arena couldn't hear the announcers.
Yeah.
So they had to figure it out themselves. But I mean, it was just an eruption. And I was like, oh my gosh, man, So you have that adrenaline at that point too, because you realize, wow, this is working, So yeah, it was probably the first time that I felt like I belonged there, and not just as, kind of an also-ran character, but in the spotlight.
Yeah.
What was also really, really, really cool about the fact is you're debuting a new character. It's not like somebody had worked somewhere else and it's coming in and it's all been stooged off by. This is an introduction of a brand new character. I was able to do it as Undertaker, and now here it's come around again, full circle, and get that kind of buzz, that kind of feel from a character they have nothing. They're not. It's completely brand new to them. So I mean, it can go either one of two ways. They can either crap on it or like, holy crap, which they did. They were just like mesmerized. And then when he got into the ring and we're face to face and they can see how big he is like, oh, this is going to be good.
And then his expressions and the way he sold it was amazing. And really, that's actually what sold the whole deal. Because the Undertaker never gets confused. The Undertaker never looks anxious.
Never looks scared.
Never looks scared. Yeah. And then here he is, with those emotions. And that's actually, I think, what was the most important part. Because if I had come out and he'd just been like, oh, who's the big guy? But no big deal. But the way he sold it, everybody's like, oh, even the Undertaker is like intimidated by whoever this is. Oh, that's got to be Kane, right? So it was just very well done by everyone involved, I think.
Yeah. What were the conversations like when it came to how you were going to work in the ring? Because it was, I mean, how did you feel about the fact that this guy's going to be using your finisher, this guy's going to use a lot of your moves, or did you just go, this makes sense?
It makes perfect sense. Why? You have to realize, like, if you go into the layers of this story, like Paul Bearer for all of these years was supposed to have had him kept away and turning him into this killing machine, this monster that he's going to unleash one day. So when you start thinking about it, the layers of this, of course he's going to have watched. He's going to watch everything I've done.
Yeah.
And he's going to be bigger than I am. He's going to be able to do them better than I can. It just makes the story that much richer. And then by the time we actually got to Mania, which is the first time that we end up working as Kane against Undertaker, I have a viable opponent that, like, this guy's, he might have his hands full here.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we were able to create. So
did you ever pick his brain on actually using those moves? Like, how do you do this?
No, it wasn't so much the moveset.
There's not a lot for me here to
it was the
talk about.
attitude and just the mindset, right? And also, every once in a while I'd have to go to him and say, hey, so-and-so doesn't want to do, because I'd have to look really strong. I'm, going to WrestleMania at the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, Mark, so-and-so doesn't want to do business. It was like, okay, if they don't have me, send them to me and I'll talk to them. Okay.
Wow.
So I go back and say, hey, Mark says to do this. Okay. That happened a lot too. But no, seriously, it wasn't so much as the move set as it was the stuff like that. It was actually creating the character, and all too often now, I think one of the things that, not to speak for you, but I think you would agree with this about the wrestling business, is it's gotten so much to be about the moves and not about the story and the characters. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what it was all about. The moves were really secondary. If I'd have done different moves, okay, there was a reason for doing the same one and that he did. That's exactly what he just explained. That really, I was like a copycat killer, okay, doing the same things and proving that I could do it better than he could. But the harder part was understanding the character and understanding the story that we were trying to tell.
You guys never had to touch each other for, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, well, that was the story. Like, he's trying to provoke me into this fight, and I'm trying. Like, I've just got dropped on me. This brother that I thought I lost all these years ago is alive. So I'm trying to process that while he's trying to kill me, and he forced my hand into. That's where I finally had to take the fight. So I mean, it's just, man, it's. I mean, we often say it, and I don't put my stuff over very much, but it definitely, I feel like one of the best stories.
Yeah, it's not one of the best. It's the greatest story.
I would say
it is. It's one of my favorites
ever.
Yeah.
For as long as it lasted, too.
Yeah.
Do you guys?
It's one of my favorites.
And I think this is potentially a question in the Q&A section, but I was thinking about this too. Do you wish that your singles run against each other before you became Brothers of Destruction actually lasted maybe a little bit longer than it did?
I don't know, only in the sense of, like, we needed the depth of not us being separate with different people.
Yeah.
I think it was a tremendous way to debut Glenn. There's not a better way to, strap the rocket, to his ass to. I think it was another one.
$100, man.
Man,
at $100. Making all kinds of money over here with the knows.
I was doing so well, but now I catch myself now when I do it. But it was just always there too. Like, you have to think about how long. I mean, we would work, and then we would move away from each other. Then we'd come back to each other. Like, we had a run late, even in the 2000s when you were champion.
Yes,
I couldn't beat him. Like, everything. I think you beat me 3 straight pay-per-views.
3 in a row. That's.
It was just always. It was always smoldering. Like, if you needed it, we can throw some gas on it. Either way, either as a tag team or one-on-one.
Did you enjoy working as a tag team, or did you enjoy the singles matches more?
Both.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the singles matches, but I did enjoy the tag team more because that was. I felt that part of the audience, once the single matches were almost just like the prelude to the actual, the really cool
the prelude.
Stuff, which was. Let's just see Kane and Undertaker destroy everybody. The problem we had with the tag team matches, then we're just both so strong characters that literally it always turned into handicap matches. We couldn't have like a normal tag match because
nobody's going to beat.
Yeah, no one could beat us when it's both of us. So generally it end up, which is a story to itself, but after a while, there's only so much of those that you could do. Yeah. And I'd argue too with us as singles as well. There's only so much we could do. Our styles are a lot alike anyway. We're big guys, both of us. So it's almost like after you'd seen one, you're going to kind of probably see variations of that. But it's not like we could do a bunch of different things. You know, it's cool you could do the gimmick matches. I mean, my favorite match of all time, at least in my top 2 or 3, is the Inferno match. You know, 'cause I thought it was a really good match, but then you also add the element of having, you know, the really cool.
This match has like vividly, like, imprinted in my mind. I remember the Inferno match. For some reason, I like to reference that whenever someone is like talking about matches with me and stuff. But yeah, that's like one of the matches that I remember growing up and seeing live. I'm gonna take a little break to walk around, wake myself up. I am like pretty hungry, so I don't know what I'm gonna snack on. But if anybody that's lurking and or watching wanna help feed my hunger, it is right there. Just click on the link. But yeah, I'm gonna take a mini little break just to get some energy back in. Okay, so I have made the decision that after the Inferno match, we are going to switch and probably talk about WWE Raw, just because of we did not cover that, and I wanted to cover it, and it's in the thumbnail. But I do know that I'm probably going to get copyright if we cover it. Man, let's hear about the Inferno match.
Gimmick and all the stuff.
Visual.
By the way, I do want to mention that I am not like other streamers that would down energy drinks. I do not believe in energy drinks, and I do not believe in consuming more caffeine than your body should have. So, you know, that's why the treat option is there. You know, that's why the treat option is there. So, that's why it goes around. I am snacking on something to like stay awake and stuff, but that's not like food. But yeah, I just don't, as a streamer, I don't like energy drinks, and I don't want to consume way more caffeine than what I need to, because then that messes you up on a healthy level. That really does. So yeah, so just keep in mind, if the treat stream link, if it like goes around, because I do have the timers enabled for the chat, it's because I don't believe in energy drinks.
Yes.
The fire.
How was it like being in the ring, though?
Not a lot of air in there.
Yeah, it was hot.
It was hot.
It was like really hot.
Yeah, and that wasn't a 5-minute match. It wasn't a 2-minute match. It was,
No,
you guys were in there for a while.
And you couldn't, like, you couldn't get that close to the flames, because if you did, you were going to get burnt. It was pretty intense.
Yeah. That's
and
you know, what was it for that match, by the way? What was
it? Wasn't mine.
It wasn't mine.
In fact, I think we both went, what? You're going to put us in a barbecue pit?
Usually
in a barbecue
like
pit
is done from somebody that's not going to be anywhere close to that match. Yeah.
We both were like, what in the world were you talking about?
You go, like, what? Light on fire? Are y'all crazy?
Well,
we have to do this.
Yes. And here, you know, I keep on just having this thought, you know, like, how did I get knocked out of the ring? Did I get knocked off the top rope to the floor, I think? But then you did the jump.
I did the leap.
And all I could think of is like, what happens if someone's foot gets caught in the rope and they go down in the... I was like, that's a really bad day, man.
2 inches away.
Yeah, exactly.
At any given time.
Yeah, there was that, I mean, legitimate element. You know, anytime you get in the ring, obviously, there's a level of danger, and just cause, you know, even the most simple move you can get hurt on. But when you're talking about that, putting basically a grate with fire around the ring, and now you have to do all this stuff, okay.
We did it.
We did it. Yeah.
Okay.
We did
let's
it.
do it.
Yeah, and when they looked at you and said, and by the way, you're the one that's going to catch on fire, what was your reaction to that? Like,
okay, so here's the deal. And this is one of the great stories of all time.
Mark, you like to work out?
Yeah, I love to work out.
Yeah.
He had a that was Sunday. Saturday, we have a show, I think, in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So you weren't on the one in Fayetteville, but they'd booked like Austin and all these, Rock, I think, and all these guys. So I'm supposed to be wrestling Vader in Fayetteville, and we're also going to do a walkthrough of the Inferno match in Greensboro. So they're like, what we're going to do is we'll have a car take you and Paul to Fayetteville. They'll pick you up at Greensboro, take you to Fayetteville. You'll be on first. You have a quick match with Vader, come back to Fayetteville, and then you guys can rehearse and do whatever. Because we hadn't even seen the setup.
Yeah, we have no idea.
We don't even know what it looks
clue.
like. So Paul and I jump in this dadgum, 1967 Cadillac. It was the worst limousine I've ever seen in my entire life. It looked like Dustin's car from the Backyard Brawl. Like it was gold. It was ridiculous. Windows wouldn't roll down. So we take off.
Awesome.
Driver's driving us. Paul and I, we've been on the road. We fall asleep, right? So we're pulling up. I wake up. We're pulling up. You got to put money there. Sorry, I said but we're pulling up to wherever. It looked like the arena in Fayetteville, and we realized we're not in Fayetteville, okay? We'd gone 2 hours the wrong way.
Oh
my God. Now, this is before cell phones and GPS and all that, right?
Oh, my gosh.
So we've got to find a gas station. Paul calls the office. You're like, we went 2 hours the wrong way, and it wasn't us. You hired this car. So we've got to have you there because Austin he'd been advertised but couldn't have been there, right?
Yeah.
All this stuff, so we have to have you there. I'm like, okay. So we take off. Now we're driving 4 hours the other way, okay? I'm getting dressed in the car, get out, run into the building. Leon and I start fighting in the back. We fight out to the ring. We roll through the ring. We fight to the back. I get back in the car. I was there total of 5 minutes. We drive back to Greensboro. And by this time, it's 1:30 in the morning. And yeah, we're not going to do the rehearsal tonight. So come on, man. So the next day we finally get to see this apparatus, which we are putting our lives right there. And they're like, okay, now Glenn, go out and work with the stunt guys, and they're gonna show you how to do a burn. This is 4 hours before the match, okay?
Yep.
So, but we had I don't want to get too much in the weeds, but we had this fake sleeve. They can do the technology for the fire is a lot better now. They can actually put the gel on your skin and do the burn on your skin, which is wild. But anyway, so we had we had a Nomax sleeve with all this cooling gel, all this stuff, so I don't get burnt. And I had to roll, put my arm under the ring, and they switch it out. He's fighting. That's where he, put the snare drum on Paul Bearer's head, which is awesome. And he's fighting Leon, fighting with Paul Bearer. So I'm in the back of the Greensboro Coliseum with these stunt guys, and they're putting this stuff in my arm, and they're getting ready to light my arm, right? And they're like, so when are we doing this? I'm like, tonight? And they're like, if we were to do this for a movie, it would be a 2-week setup. I was like, we got 3 hours, guys. Welcome to the WWE.
Yes, welcome to the
WWE. So they light my arm on fire, and I'm sitting there looking at my arm, and it's on fire. And I go to move, no, don't move that way. You'll inhale the flames. You got to keep you got to keep your arm behind you, your head like this, because if you move this way, it'll go right in your mouth. Yeah. So, and then, as soon as you start feeling any sort of tingling, hit the deck, and we'll come out and we'll spray you with fire extinguishers. But you have to do it. You can't wait, because once you start feeling tingling, that means the cooling gel's evaporated, and you're about 2 seconds away from third-degree burns. Yes!
Wow.
Exciting.
I'm now, I have to keep all this in mind while I'm also having a match with him, doing all these things. And then what happens is, man, we do the deal. I'm getting ready to get lit on fire. He's punching me, kind of driving me back. And this hand, it's kind of dead, because this is the hand that's got all the stuff on it to do the burn. And I'm really trying to exaggerate getting hit with this hand. Well, then I throw this hand in the dadgum fire. And this is not protected. So then I'm like, and then he hits me. I'm throwing this one.
Oh, gosh.
The things that we would do for money. Yeah, man, we didn't even get to see it. When did you even see the thing, man?
Not tell them I walked out. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, people are always like, "Did you
One of those
rehearse?"
big
I was like,
Foley moments.
Yeah.
You walk out, you're like, "Oh crap!" Why are you up there?
How much time do you take to rehearse? Well, apparently, not enough on that one. But.
So what they did is they had a switch where they'd hit the switch and then everything would blow up. Like
yeah.
And then it would kind of go back. They were always on fire, but then they would.
Yeah, it was like a small flame for the most part. Yeah,
we take a big bump and it would fire up. And like, make sure you're not close to the edge when you take the bumps. And it's all this like stuff that you had to remember in addition to just having a normal match.
Right. I remember I did that big flying clothesline and rolled and was rolling and they hit it and I was just like, oh, wrong way, and back this other way.
Yeah.
But that's just a day in the life right there.
Was, day in the life of a WWE wrestler,
especially in that time period.
So, for you,
okay, because I think now we're getting into the mask one. Like, okay.